up in another reality as Dean Winchester, what should you do?
If I woke up as Dean Winchester in another reality, what would I do? I would get in the Impala. Yeah. I would crank up the tunes, and I'd probably go to Las Vegas and go crazy. How has Dean Winchester never been to, I mean, not just like gotten locked down like Hunter S. Thompson in Las Vegas, because that's beyond me. I mean, it's, you know, gambling and women and everything he loves. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd go have some fun. The poor guy never has any fun, you know? Yeah, so there you go. Thanks. Hi.
Hi. I have no questions. I only want to tell you that I saw about 10,000 times your Eye of the Tiger performance. You're amazing.
So you're the one. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm still not quite sure how that happened. But thanks. Thanks for racking up the YouTube count on that one. Hi.
I'm pretty sure everybody's groaning already because I've been collecting answers to that question since last year, and actually I'm just missing you and Jared now.
Uh-oh. I'm
no,
scared.
it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. It's just I'm very musically minded, and I was wondering what kind of music do you listen to when you have a really, really shitty day?
Obviously something, well, I don't know, it depends, you know? If I have a really bad day, sometimes misery loves company and you play some depressing music, you know? Because it just kind of, you know, maybe you don't want to be cheered up. And I have those days. I think we all have those days. And sometimes I'd rather just, you know, sit on the couch and close my eyes and listen to something, you know, somber. You know, a lot of times, the next morning, then I'll put on something, you know. You know what always, not always, but I mean, there's a few kind of records that always kind of fire me up. You know, I've got a playlist from U2 that always kind of gets me going in the morning, and some, you know, Mumford & Sons, and some Ray LaMontagne, you know, but then you go to the Black Keys and some of those guys, you know, Band of Horses. So I'm all over the map with my music. It really depends on what I'm in the mood for. So yeah, I think that it's really a personal mood thing. But I agree with you. Music is a big part of my life as well. And, you know, sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll listen to Jason's version of Hallelujah. Because it's very haunting, you know, and it's cool. You know? Yeah. So,
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Since you already have directed 2 episodes, have you ever thought of writing an episode?
No. To be honest, no. I don't have a desire to write an episode. I'd love to maybe help conceptualize one, you know, help come up with an idea for one, but writing has just never been my thing. I've never been good at it. English was my worst subject growing up. Just, you know, as far as like writing term papers and things like that, I just was never, and it's not that I don't know how to, you know, construct a proper script or a proper sentence. It's just that I second guess myself too much, which is the same reason why I don't write music, because I love to play music and I love to sing, you know, and to do that. But writing by myself, I'll write a line that I think is good, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, no, maybe it should be this way. No, maybe it should be this way. No, you know what? Forget it. I don't want to do this. And I think that'd be the same when I've tried to write scripts before, and it's the same thing. You know, I know what I want to say, but I second guess myself on how to say it, and I'm like, I need some help. I need somebody else to do this. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Hi.
I'd like to know, if you were a girl, which member of the cast, of Supernatural cast, would you like to date?
What kind of messed up question is that? Well, I think there's an obvious answer there.
Yeah,
Bobby Singer. No, I don't. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to pretend to answer that question. But I will give you some information that you might be interested in. I don't know why. But if I was a girl, my name would actually be Holly. Just a little fun fact for you. Because they didn't know whether I was a boy or a girl until I was born. In fact, I wasn't named for 3 days. They couldn't decide on, my parents couldn't decide on a name. But they knew that if I was a girl, that I was going to be Holly. And then I came out a boy, and they're like, of course, great. Now we have to come up with a guy name. And they wanted a J, because my brother's name is Joshua. And they thought maybe Justin, and they were like, no, we want something a little bit more original. And they found Jensen, and that's how I became Jensen. So, sorry I didn't answer your question, but I'm not going there. Thanks. Yeah, hi.
First of all, I want to thank you for all the emotions that you give us in every season of Supernatural.
Thanks for paying attention.
And the question is, if you have to give a compliment to Sam, Lord Sam, which compliment do you give to him?
How do you keep your hair so perfect? No. What compliment would I give to Sam?
Yes.
Probably, you have a great sense of loyalty. I think both brothers, the sense of loyalty and family is inspiring, and which is one of the reasons, one of the many kind of virtues that these guys have. So yeah, his loyalty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I was wondering if you have a particular scene of Supernatural that is close to you for some reasons.
A particular scene of Supernatural that is close to me. I mean, there's a ton. There's emotional ones, there's funny ones, there's...
Maybe, I don't know, something that reminds you of your life and that you find interesting or difficult to shoot.
One scene that kind of comes to mind is, I'll give you 2 scenes. How about that? The scene in the end when Dean is talking to future Dean. I just remember that so vividly because it was such a challenge for me. And to be playing a character for so long and then get truly challenged like that by having to play the same character but tweak it differently, and then you had to remember, okay, what did I say? How am I going to say this on that side of the table because we haven't filmed it yet? And how am I going to react to that properly on this side of the table? How can I make those subtle differences in the character? It was just a really big challenge to me, and I I really liked that challenge. It was a really big, I thought, moment and growing moment for me as an actor. Another kind of more sentimental scene would be the scene in All Hell Breaks Loose Part 2, where Dean is sitting bedside to his dead brother and telling him how he wished he should have been there and cared for him. Yeah. Well, you might think that that's special because of the content of the scene, but it was actually special for a different reason. It's a different reason because Kim Manners directed that scene. And I remember going up to Kim's office and talking about the scene a few days beforehand, which I never really do. I mean, we don't talk about the scenes until the day of. So I remember going up to his office and being like, hey, listen, Kim, this is going to be a really tough scene for me to film. And I don't know how many takes I'm going to have before I don't have anything left, because it was going to be I knew I was going to get real emotional. And I said, I don't know how many, I'm going to need some help from you in directing this in a way that I can get through it in just a few takes. So what he did is he blacked out the entire set so that I couldn't see any of the crew people. Everybody was, all the lights were off on the stage, and it was literally just the light on Jared. And he had the cameras completely dark. All the camera guys got into black outfits so that they couldn't be seen either. So it literally erased all of the crew away from my eyesight, which doesn't happen. Normally, if I'm doing a scene, there's 50 people right here. You don't see them, but I know they're there, and they're all lit up, and I can see, you got the boom operator with the microphone, you got the camera guys, you got, the still pictures photographer, there's a ton of people, but Kim blacked all those people out, and he set up 2 cameras, and they just kind of slowly moved back and forth. One was a wider shot, and one was a tighter shot, and I was able to do the scene in like 3 takes, and that was it. And I remember how much he cared for me as a director, for his actor, and it really meant a lot to me. Plus the scene was really difficult. And it was,
You did it awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi. A couple of times yesterday you mentioned former colleagues and the projects that they're working on now, like Jeffrey Dean Morgan and David Nitter, and then you said you wanted to work with Josh Jackson again. And I was wondering just how closely you actually keep track of the career paths of the people that you have worked with in the past.
Some, I do. I still chat with Josh. We obviously fly on the planes together quite a bit, back and forth from Los Angeles to Vancouver, because he films up there as well. So he and I get to run into each other quite a bit during the filming year. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I probably talk to him at least once or twice a month. Ask about his kid Gus and how they're doing, and he's got a cabin up in New York that he's been begging me to come and visit him, so maybe try to get up there when the show's done. I definitely try to follow them and keep up, with what they're doing. Maybe not necessarily what they're working on, but definitely their personal lives and stuff like that.
How about Michelle Williams, since her career has just gone mental?
Yeah, she's outstanding. She was really, she was a real just pleasure to work with when I worked with her. And I remember she was a little bit of, not an outsider, but she didn't, that whole Dawson's Creek cast was, they grew up together on that show. They were just kids when they started shooting. And it was really kind of high school in that kind of cliquish sense. But Michelle was kind of her own, kind of went to the beat of her own drum. And she didn't really, fraternize too much and do the gossip thing, which I respected. And she kind of kept me at an arm's distance there when I first started working with her. And I was like, that's cool, I respect that. She doesn't need to make me feel all happy and welcome and stuff. And we're professionals and here to do a job, and we'll do a job, and we work well together. And I'll never forget, after a few episodes of working together, she's like, okay, I'm ready to take you out. And not on a date, just okay, I'm ready to show you the town and be your friend. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet. And she was like, meet me at this coffee shop, you know, tomorrow afternoon. I was like, all right, I'll be there. So we met, and she's like, I'm going to take you to my favorite place in the city. This is in Wilmington, North Carolina, a really cool, small little town. And she took me to this little record shop. And I remember she was just like, follow me. And we started walking down the aisles of this record shop, and she was like, you need this one? And this one? Follow me. And by the time I was like carrying like all these CDs, and she was like, listen to these, and then we can be friends. And after that, we had a really good relationship. She was really cool, and unfortunately, you know, that was 10 years ago. So I haven't seen her or talked to her in a long time, but I'm sure if I did, it'd be a big hug. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Hi.
I hope I'm not wrong, but I remember you once said that you watched some episode of How I Met Your Mother. Is it true? Yeah. So since Barney Stinson and Winchester are two of my favorite characters, even if then
You like the womanizers, huh?
yeah, but
Where's Sebastian? Kidding.
that's a pity. But could you say something, typical line of Barney?
A typical line of Barney?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole legend, wait for it. Daring. Oh, that's great. Hi.
I was wondering, you played Dean for so long. When you're not working, do you sometimes catch yourself doing or saying Dean things?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she asked it, because I've been playing Dean for so long, sometimes when I'm not working, do I catch myself acting like Dean, right? I do, and that's when my wife goes, why are you talking like Dean? Sorry, you're right. Yeah, sometimes it's, you know, it happens, it slips, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to tell you that it's really nice to have you here year after year, because it wasn't easy to come here every year, but we made it, me and my sister, and I'm really glad because it's worth it every time, and you're really nice. Even if we can talk to you like only a few minutes, you're always nice to us and funny. I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. That's very sweet. Well, I will say that it is a pleasure. I mean, there's a reason we keep coming back, and it's, you know, because of people like you and all of you, and we love seeing your faces. And we love I know the pictures and the autographs can be a little, you know, quick and rushed and fast and stuff, and it's just because we're trying to get through everybody and we're trying to, you know, move it along. Otherwise, we'll be here till next Saturday. But yeah, I know you don't. But I will say that sitting here and getting to talk to you guys is really a joy for me, and I thank you for your interest in what we do, and I just know that it really it makes us feel really great that we have such an awesome fan base. So thank you guys.
My question is, in the Supernatural episode, The French Mistake, there is a moment when Dean says that Jensen and Misha are strange names. Now, I just want to know if you like your name, and what is your favorite name, if you have one?
I don't know that I have a favorite name. There's a few names in the world, yeah, I like my name. I like it. It's you know, it's unique. I haven't met a whole lot of Jensens before. I've met a few, but it wasn't until way later in life. For the longest time, probably until I was about 18 years old, I'd never even heard of another Jensen. And I'd say growing up, it was a little difficult just because people were like, wait, what? Jason? Justin? Who? So, growing up, it was, you know, there were some moments and I was like, ugh, it's Jensen. J-E-N-S-O-N? No, not Jensen. Never mind, just call me Justin. So, a lot of times when, you know, when you, like, if you go to a coffee shop or something and they're like, okay, and what's your name? And they ask your name, I never say Jensen. I always say Jay. I just give them Jay. Because it's easy and I know that they won't be like, wait, what? How do you spell that? But yeah, I do like the name, and it's you know, it's unique and it's original and it's my name.
It's beautiful.
It's me. Thank you. Hi.
Yesterday, Misha said that the scene where Dean gives the trenchcoat to Cass is romantic and gay. And I'd like to know what you think about it.
The scene where Misha or
Dean gives the trenchcoat Cass back.
Oh, that was such an awkward scene. Is Misha behind me? I'm sure he is, because things just got really awkward. Yeah, that was a really awkward scene. In fact, Misha and Bob Singer was directing that episode, and we were crying, laughing at how ridiculous the fact that I had his jacket nicely folded in the back of the car, and not the Impala, a stolen car. And I'm like, what? What? There was no reason for that jacket to be in the trunk of that. Just no reason. And Bob was like, look, just do it, all right? And I'm like, but Bob, this is so dumb. I don't understand. I mean, this, and then we started saying the dialogue out loud, and it just sounded it was like, it was so bad. And I wish, is Misha here? Is he here? Because there was a line that he said that he couldn't get out because it was so ridiculous. And we finally ended up changing the line. Like, we had to put our heads together and be like, okay, we're changing these lines. So yeah, I remember that scene vividly, and it was, but it was just one of those things where it's a crucial part of the story and it needs to happen.
Misha said he don't like to know what Dean had done with the trench coat. Like wearing the trench coat while he's naked.
Yeah, I don't want to know what Dean did with that trench coat. You know, and why it was just folded so, I don't know. And that was another thing too, because I had it fold, I'm like, Dean wouldn't fold this up like his, you know. And it's a coat. It's a damn coat. I get the symbol of it and what it represents, and it's Cass's coat and this and that. But you know, it was so perfectly folded with the tie and the collar. And Bob's like, can you present it like, you know, so we can see what it is? And I'm like, no, I can't. Oh, gosh. So know that we have problems shooting some scenes sometimes. It's not all, you know, easy going, but yeah, that was a fun scene.
We loved it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right, fortunately we got time for one more question. Hi.
I wanted to ask you, if you had to go to an isolated place and you could take with you only one song, one movie, and one book, what would they be and why? You never answered that.
No, and there's a reason why, because I don't know.
We're curious.
You know, here's the thing. Remember what I was saying about writing? About how I second guess myself all the time and how I write something down. I'm like, yeah, this is not what I want. This is, okay, how about that? No, see, because that's what I go through when you ask me a question like that, and it hurts my brain.
You should think about it before.
But even if I think about it before, I'm going to come up on stage and be like, change my answer. And then you're going to walk back to your seat and be like, no, wait, I got another one. Yeah, I mean, I've got like, I think I've got about 7,500 songs in my library.
So you can't choose one.
I can't choose one. Can you?
Yes.
What?
Song?
Yes.
Probably Love You Should Have Come Over by Jeff Buckley, which is my favorite song.
Yeah, great song. Love that song. Love that whole album. But is that the song that I'm going to have to be stuck with now for the rest of my life?
I don't know, 1 week.
I'm going to want to kill myself.
Yeah, we do.
Do you have a question about something I can actually answer? What? Give me another question. Any question. Think of something off the top of your head.
I don't have one.
Ask her question. This just derailed. This train was going, and it just, now it's...
You're not going to be happy with this either.
Great!
So I just wanted to know about the song that you sang with this really small, fairly unknown group that's called I Saw Her Standing There, which I really like. And I wanted to, you probably don't even remember that. Yeah, I thought so. And I just wanted to know if you ever saw the guys again, or even know who they are anymore, basically.
What are you talking about?
There's a song you participated to.
That I participated in?
Yes. Your voice is recorded, you can't deny it.
My voice was recorded?
Yes.
Was I recorded? Like,
yes.
My face?
No.
How do you know it's me?
Come on. You have a pretty particular, unique voice.
That's not true.
It is.
I sound like many different people.
No, you don't.
Many.
No, it's a lot.
What? This sucks. What song, okay, I saw you, yeah, I know the song.
Uh-huh.
Saw you standing there, right?
That's
yeah,
right.
Okay. When did this happen? What? Days of Our Lives? You want me to remember something that happened 14 years ago?
I do. I remember stuff from 13 years ago.
Good for you! What's the question?
I just wanted to know if you remember the song and who this guy is.
Apparently not!
You sang that. You just sang a piece.
Yeah, I know obviously I know the song.
Exactly.
Who doesn't? But no, I don't remember singing it, nor do I remember singing it with anybody. Was it karaoke?
No. It's an actual record.
Because there was a few times when I had a little too many and I went to karaoke and I knew it would come back to haunt me. I just knew it.
I don't know, it's an actual record. I have no idea if it's an actual karaoke recording and they just sold it piracy.
Lord, I apologize.
We love you, Jensen.
All right, thank you guys. All right, I love you guys too.